Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Internet safety has been a concern for many years, but let's find out where we stand now. Welcome Chief Deputy Mike Brower from Utah County Sheriff Department and Lieutenant Corey Slaymaker from the Spanish Fork Police Department. Chief Deputy Brower has been with Utah County Sheriff's Office for the past 18 years and has had an outstanding career. Lieutenant Slaymaker has been on the SFPD for 23 years. Today we have invited Mike here to talk with us specifically about internet safety. Welcome to our show.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you
for having us.
It's good to have you on the show.
It's good to be here.
Yes.
This is a heavy topic. Like, where should we jump in?
Well, I was just going to start by saying I know that my little one just finished Internet Safety Week at school. So they had White Ribbon Week, and that was specifically to make parents and students aware of the harms of internet and also some of the great things that we can do on the internet. So I'm sure that you've been involved in that in the local school system as well. So help us touch on that, like where to begin, I guess. I mean,
How serious? I think, why even talk about internet safety?
Well, I think the biggest thing is kids have the internet right at their fingertips. With their phones. They have them constantly. They're constantly on it, and with that can pose problems if they go down the wrong path and start to get into things that they shouldn't be involved in. So it's very easy and accessible for kids these days to get on the internet.
Go ahead.
And they estimate that between about 68% of children 12 to 13 have cell phones, across the country. As kids get a little older, that percentage goes a lot higher. So access is a big part of why there's such a problem with the internet. You brought it up, education. That's going to be the key to prevent a lot of the sexual abuse, a lot of the internet, the bullying, cyberbullying, those issues that we as law enforcement encounter, throughout the state. So education's a big part of this.
So, Mike, when you say education, do you mean for parents or for kids or both? Because it sounds like both need some.
Absolutely, both. It's imperative that the children understand what the potential dangers are on the internet, and to have classes in schools to kind of teach them of the dangers. But also as parents, we talked a little bit earlier about our children. For the most part, as parents, they know more than we do about their apps on their cell phones, how to hide them, how to go through those things. So it's imperative that we as parents get on those apps, monitor it, and do the research out there so we understand how to restrict certain sites and time and GPS coordinates and all those things we need to be aware of.
I'm glad you brought that up with the GPS. You also mentioned age. So 12 and 13 seems actually even on the older side for children to have access to phone anymore. And there's still the flip phones, and you can have
Tablets.
well, even setting parameters. So you might want your child to have ability to get a hold of you, but not necessarily to be on a smartphone, on the internet, on I don't know, to call more than one number or just to get into that danger. So as far as the GPS goes, like we have the little pink, I don't even know what they're called. They're not the smartwatch watch, but they're the little phone that my daughter had. Yeah, but it can only call 2 numbers, so she can take it to dance and she can call mom and dad and we can call her, but that's it. Also has the GPS coordinates, and I know there was a story not too long ago that there was a child abducted and they were able to track the GPS coordinates and get on that right away. Wow. So 6 may sound very young to be carrying a phone like that, but there's also the upside to that also. So I mean, just in your personal opinion, is there, what age, like when do you give a child a smartphone? Let's just say a smartphone.
Yeah.
I think that parents want to stay in touch with their kids, and as easy as they are to get a phone now, you're starting to see that age younger. You're starting to see a lot of elementary kids with phones go to school to have it so that they can get in touch after school. Sometimes it's for safety, if in case they're walking home and they need to get a hold of mom after school. So you're starting to see it get younger and younger each year with that age.
Okay, so that's the plus side. So get a hold of mom and dad. You need a ride or you're stuck or okay. So let's say we decide to get you a phone. How do I educate myself now as a parent? Like, how are there classes that I can get involved in? I just gave my 12-year-old a phone. How do I set parameters? How do I set data usage? I mean, I'm constantly surprised by the number of posts I'll see, even by other parents, to say, so-and-so used all of our data plan, and I'm like, but you can control that. So how can they learn how to do that better, I guess?
Yeah, there's plenty of resources out there. If you use Android, if you use iPhone, you know, your Apple, there'll be apps on those particular, whatever brand you choose to buy. There'll be apps in there that you can go in, a lot of free apps that you can restrict settings. You can go into settings, parent controls, you can go and do that. There's also some that you may purchase through those variable accounts as well that you can go in and restrict. You can shut it off at times. History, you can have the text sent to your phone so you can read what they're doing. And you can monitor all that activity there. You brought up a good point earlier. Where are you as a parent? What information do you want your child to have? And if you just want them to make the phone calls, then you purchase that for them. And as they get older, obviously they're going to need other things. But there are a lot of applications out there. You can also go to the ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force website that'll provide parents with multiple resources that they can go in and learn and educate themselves on these apps and on all the different, you know, the Snapchat, the Kikes, the Instagrams, how those applications are used, how children can make them disappear on their phone to where a parent can't find them.
Yeah. Is that really happening?
Absolutely.
So kids hide the apps kind of behind like a layer?
There's
that
an
how-
app called Poof that makes it invisible on your screen. There's also secret apps that disguise themselves. That you can
Right.
disguise that app under like a calculator, things like that.
Okay, I've heard about
But
that.
what I'd like to know, I've got 4 young boys under 12, and they're very much into, you know, the gaming world, or, you know, not really bad games, but still. You know, how vulnerable are children? I mean, to really emphasize, you know, it's okay to have all of these resources out there, and if as a parent you're not really watching, why is it essential that you actually get to use, like you're saying, the ICAC, or is it ICAC?
A lot of that has to do with the grooming process. And they get on Snapchat and they get on these different apps, but they really don't know who they're talking to.
Right.
They get a message sent to them. They think it's one of their friends. And we've had a few cases like this where they think, oh, I thought it was just my friends messing around with me, when in reality it's some other person away that's potentially trying to groom these individuals. And so you really don't know who you're talking to when you send a text message, because you have no idea who's on the other end. Just because you have a number or a screen name, you necessarily don't know who is on the other end receiving that or sending you information. So you have to really be cautious, and parents have to be cautious with their kids to know, you know, if they're going to use it, make sure that they know specifically who they're talking to, and don't just, you know, accept somebody you don't know as a friend.
But if it's
So-
just like school friends or family members, I mean, it's more like if you get a new name or number off Instagram or Snapchat or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, be careful, because that's how it all starts with these is the grooming process. If they can become your friends, talk to you, appear that they're on the same level as you, and get you to trust them, then other things, you know, starts leading and compounding from there.
You really need to watch also as a parent, avoid the video messaging, the live feeds. A lot of these perpetrators will look for those as avenues to, you know, to get in, to groom them, to find their interests, see what kind of music they like, and build on that to get after our children.
Even here in Spanish Fork, this kind of thing is happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is here.
Yes. Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going to be back and continue this conversation right after this.